Hey everybody, Dr. Phil here. This is going to be a video on ethics and privacy with respect to management information systems. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing we should do is describe and define ethics. So ethical standards provide guidelines for how people should act, etc. Now, ethics involves making choices, what to do, what to say, and sometimes even what to think. Now, don't confuse ethics with morals. Morality refers to being virtuous, while ethics can provide a framework that can lead to a virtuous life. In essence, ethics provide the reasons for why you should be virtuous. Now, ethics are often confused with the legal system or with religious tenets, and neither one is correct. Laws and religion can provide guidelines for morality, but the legal system often has a difficult time enforcing ethical behavior and works incredibly slowly. Consider how fast information technology (IT) is advancing and how slowly the courts work. Likewise, a religious leader may provide a moral compass, but a thousands-year-old religion often has difficulty addressing the vast array of ethical questions raised by today's internet. Now, the numerous competing values and interests in management and management information systems lead to a large number of ethical dilemmas. Understanding the law and the history behind the enacting of the laws can provide a starting point to investigating this complex topic. Now, while laws do not equate to ethics, a study of a society's legal guidance can frame or can help frame an ethical study. So the information age certainly shapes our social fabric, right? We know that a lot has changed, certainly with regard to the social fabric and the social makeup of society. The uncontrolled and unimaginably rapid acceleration of data collection creates huge challenges to personal privacy and the protection of property, particularly intellectual property. And we've certainly seen that as a big problem, I would say, over the last probably decade. So, what are some ethical concerns with respect to the internet? Well, the internet provides, as we all know, an incredible platform for research and creativity when used properly. For example, online viewers watch approximately 400,000 years of video every day. What an incredible statistic. Each day, internet users make over 1 billion Google and Baidu searches. Unfortunately, this technological explosion also created techniques such as deepfake and encourages extremely insular information streams. This often makes it difficult to distinguish between basic fact and fiction. Also, with so much financial and personal data available online, the incidences of identity theft and frauds, such as wire and ransomware attacks, unfortunately have also proliferated. So, what about ethical information and encouraging ethical information technology behavior in the workplace? So, ethical, visible managers that lead by example are of absolute paramount importance. Once appropriate standards have been established, business owners and network administrators must publish the standards, provide employee appropriate computer usage instruction, monitor employee computer behavior, and periodically review the policies to ensure their continued viability. Now, if an organization strives to act ethically, all of the individuals in the organization must act ethically, especially regarding information. The organization's leadership must exhibit unimpeachable ethical behavior. And we actually have a term for this. We call it the tone at the top. We tend to see that tone at the top kind of rolls downhill, if you will. By acting unethically, managers give permission for all of their employees to act unethically. By not enforcing strong ethical behavior, managers can actually encourage unethical behavior because employees, rank and file employees are looking at the managers to sort of see what they're doing, ethically speaking. So let's take a look at the 5 steps of an ethical analysis. So number one is getting the facts. Starting to make any decision or even determining that a decision should be made, let's get all the facts. Number two, determining the affected. Let's determine who will be impacted by the decision. Number three is searching for precedents. Does the organization provide any guidelines such as policies, a code of ethics, a previous example, or a mission statement that might provide or help us with guidance. Number 4, listing options. Make a physical list of all the options and the potential outcomes. Number 5, deciding and preparing for the consequences. Make the decision and then prepare for the consequences. Now let's talk about privacy. Privacy is your right to control what happens with personal information about you. Internet privacy is the right of personal privacy concerning the storing, distributing, and displaying information concerning oneself via the internet. Managers must protect the online privacy of employees and, of course, organization stakeholders. So opt-in and opt-out, this refers to common methods of gaining consumer permission to access their information or track their behavior. Some of these unscrupulously, unfortunately, take advantage of consumer naivety. When downloading a game or software onto a device, you may notice a checkbox asking if you agree to terms of use and the site's privacy policy. The terms of use may also permit the site's owner to track your browsing and share this information with third parties. Of course, that's, lost in the small print. So let's take a look at an example of opt-in and opt-out. So here we see a checkbox which may ask you if you want to receive news and updates or participate in surveys from the site. If the box is already checked by default, this is called an opt-out mechanism. With an opt-in feature, you must check the box in order to agree. Okay, let's talk a little bit now about intellectual property. So what is intellectual property? Sometimes it's called intellectual property. We also have a term IPR, which refers to the rights that come with that. IPR, intellectual property rights. So fundamentally, intellectual property consists of human knowledge and ideas that the law protects against unauthorized use by others. Intellectual property consists of 4 categories. First is patents. The second is trademarks. Number 3 is copyrights, and then number 4 is trade secrets. And we'll talk a little bit more about patents and trademarks. Let's start with copyright. So according to the US Copyright Office, a copyright is a form of protection provided by the laws of the United States for original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, architectural, cartographic, choreographic, pantomimic, pictorial, graphic, sculptural, and audiovisual creations. Copyright literally means the right to copy, but has come to mean that body of exclusive rights granted by law to copyright owners for protection of their work. Copyright protection does not extend to any idea, procedure, process, system, title, principle, or discovery. So let's talk a little bit about patents. So when the government grants an inventor the right to exclude others from the use of the invention for a period of time, this is called a patent. So there are 2 major types of patents. The first is what we call utility patents, and the second is what we call design patents. So utility patents is the most common type, and this is going to be granted for, new processes or machines. A design patent protects the unique appearance of an object. So kind of think about like how it's designed. To qualify for a patent, the invention must be novel or different from other similar inventions. It must also be non-obvious, meaning that a skilled artisan would find the invention surprising or perhaps unexpected. Additionally, patent will only be granted for something that is useful, and a patent is generally good for 20 years. So it's not something that you sort of get in perpetuity. There is a limit to it, because of course, having a patent in perpetuity would maybe discourage competition, which of course is good for the consumer. All right, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you all in a future video.